guys, it's Rival. Welcome to another video. I know that you guys have seen the wave management video was the last one before that, and then the top 5 tips for climbing, the video before that. If you guys are new to the channel, I couldn't be more happy to have you here, growing a little fam. Had to take a day off yesterday. That other video took me so long to do, but today we're back again. If you guys didn't know, I do gameplay breakdowns, very similar to Midbeast, another Oceanic creator, but we're doing top lane. So I specialize in top lane gameplay breakdowns. I'm actually going to be focusing a little bit more on actually breaking down a specific play. In these games, if something crazy happens, I'll stop it, rewind it, break it down, all that kind of thing. Usually I would just do commentary, so we're going to change it up a little bit today. We're watching Irelking. I think he normally plays mid. We're watching him play top today on his famous Irelia. I've skipped ahead this gameplay. He ends up like 13-4 or something, so there's definitely going to be heaps of action happening. Sett is a pretty hard matchup for Irelia, so I'm really excited to see how he deals with it. I haven't watched this. This review is being done cold. Let me shuffle up a little bit. Do you guys like my mustache? I've never tried to grow. I've never tried to grow one before. I'm still undecided on whether I like it or not. I think it kind of makes me look like I might enjoy the sexual advances of children, but my girlfriend seems to be okay with it, so it's not too... Is that a good way to start this video? Alright, let's jump into the video. What the fuck are we doing? We got D-Shield start, first off the bat. So D-Shield, I don't mind this. I actually like his ward, so if anyone can see on the map, I'm going to quickly just hover over the ward up here. We put this ward up here so we can see where Sett starts in lane. If Sett's got the lane brushes covered here, he can exert a lot of pressure like he is right now. Sett's level 1 is pretty disgusting versus basically any champion. Irelia needs the rest of her kit to be enabled in terms of... We also know Zinzao starting topside too. Irelia needs her entire kit to be enabled and for the champion to function properly. Obviously, she gets her passive stacks up a lot faster when she has her E, W, and Q. And she's also able to dash around creeps, manage the wave a lot better with her whole kit. So Sett really just doing what Sett does here, completely pushing her off the wave. It's kind of insane to me, like how aggressive these players play level 1. Just doing everything they can to get an advantage in terms of pushing them out of XP range and pushing them off the wave. Sett even getting level 2 here is going to E and QQ Irelia. So should E here, another Q. Like Irelia literally hasn't even been in XP range / able to touch the wave, and she's already through her health pot and she's got Doran Shield. I kind of understand the Doran Shield take here because with Doran Shield you can play a little bit more passive while still regenerating some of that HP. Whereas Doran's Blade you're kind of forced to hit the wave to get that lifesteal going. If Zinzao is smart here, he'll split the map and come for a dive at level 3. Sett can easily just E Irelia on the wave before she even has her W to prevent the AD damage being taken. It acts as kind of like, not a shield, but the damage reduction as everyone knows. One little trick that you can do as the Sett versus Irelia though is you can actually, I have to pause this because a really interesting thing is happening. You can actually W through Irelia's resistances that she gains with her W. So if Irelia locks herself in place with her W, Sett can W through it and it'll still do maximum damage if you hit her in the true spot of the W. Twisted Fate. This is really good, okay? I want you guys really to focus on what's happening here because I wouldn't see this in like anywhere. This is like really next level thinking from this TF. This is how you can tell it's a top level game. As we see in the minimap here, TF has completely pushed Ryze in. We know TF's got a really good early shove. He anticipates the dive is about to happen. He knows Zinzao might split, so TF comes across top lane to help prevent the dive if even Sett goes for it solo. Let's just see how it transpires. I don't even know. I haven't watched his gameplay yet. Sett already leading the dive. Irelia gets W. Just really unlucky play by the Sett there. Let's break it down a little bit and we'll try to understand exactly what Sett goes for here. So leads off with the first 2 autos. So auto and then his second auto is a longer range. And then he stuns Irelia on the back creeps up here to lock her down to stop her from getting away. Irelia elects to choose the... She actually could have chosen the Q and Q to these creeps here. But either way, it works out fine. She chooses the W for a bit of damage mitigation. Obviously, the W soaking one of those autos there, and then the tower finishing set off. I think it had gotten to 2 or 3 tower shots there, so completely losing his lane advantage, actually. He played the early laning really well, honestly. Like, I feel Sett being such an early champion, or an early laning pressure champion with his passive, for her to outplay that so early on as Irelia outscale Sett is very, very important here. Last hitting, just with great ease like Irelia does. Doran Shield, 900 gold to base with. We could go for a Vampiric Scepter here, or is Vampiric 950? As we see, bot lane gets double killed. Something new as you're a top laner. You're all the more familiar to see your bot lane get double killed. We TP back to lane, obviously stabilizing. This is patch 12, so you can't TP to the minions. Dagger, Doran's Blade, definitely got an item advantage here and a level advantage. I feel like Irelia can just stat check Sett here. One more thing that I'm just going to quickly jump over because I know a little bit about Sett is when Sett is off the wave. So like in this instance, there's a pretty big circle around him where he's not even close to any minions. Sett's E is basically useless. It literally just does damage. There's not much else to it there. Leads with the E, hits the E, cues off the minion, still has the mark on Sett, gets a passive up here. Sett's going to go for the W, I feel. So with this as well, really quickly before we continue, I don't know if this is getting annoying for you guys, me stopping it, but I want to kind of like dissect each of these plays to see how they break down. With Sett's W, the grit bar, it actually deteriorates really, really fast. So if you can kind of like kite the trade out or leave for a while, you'll notice that Sett's W actually goes down quite fast. As you see, it's down to basically a third. That's going to do vastly less damage than if it was fully charged. If you play into the strength of grit, you will eat the entire W damage. So that's what Irelking does. Irelking does really well here. She will probably kill Sett. Sett has flash though. Sett flashing away. Irelia will kill him here for sure. Just weaving like an absolute demon. That's so nice to watch, man. I honestly feel like Irelia is the most cracked champion when she's ahead. Let's just watch it again. Really pretty. So overlays the E onto Sett's on top of the Q. She does on the minion there. So E2 into QQQ into Q auto Q. Yep. Perfectly played. Absolutely amazing to watch. It's so buttery. Like when you get good at this champion, it's actually amazing to watch. She doesn't quite have buy. Off the top of my head, obviously Irelia goes for Blade of the Ruined King. So we're going to be looking for another wave into maybe a plate, and then we'll base for a component. Obviously, Irelia's wave clear early levels is probably second to none, if not one of the best. Pre-6 doesn't elect for the plate. We want the better buy timing here. Xin Zhao won't die. Obviously, they're not going to go for it. Irelia's still pretty healthy and can just E and walk away. So to kind of like break down what's happening here, everyone would probably be watching this plate just like crying in agony. It's actually a lot more value for Irelia to... If anyone watched my wave management guide, what's about to happen is the wave's going to come off Sett's tower here and bounce into Irelia. Irelia getting the base off at the time that she does will allow Irelia to freeze out the front of her tower. Let's see what happens. We get the recurve bow. I'm actually pretty surprised by that. I didn't see exactly how much he bought. He went back to base with, but I'm pretty surprised he elects for the recurve bow over even maybe like another longsword. Maybe he's trusting the base stats of his Doran's items to carry him through the early laning. Let's see what happens. So Sett setting up a slow push. As you see, even this minion, he's waiting till the last second till it dies. This is kind of like where Irelia can get a bit tricky to play around because Irelia actually kind of breaks the law of having a strong wave against you. Most champions can't fight into stacked waves. Sett and Irelia are two that definitely can. Irelia having more minions on the enemy side actually gives her more targets to Q2. So it's tricky because fast pushing and slow pushing don't really work against Irelia, especially if you're behind. So let's just see what happens. We have to keep in mind that Xin Zhao was seen top lane last time, but we haven't seen him on any wards. So maybe he'll come to break the freeze, but Hecarim's also hovering topside, so let's just see what happens. Sett building a slow push here. See, this is the tricky part, as I said before, like even though Sett's building a slow push, Irelia definitely just has the complete advantage. Sett's still on a longsword Doran shield. Gets her passive up here. There's literally nothing Sett can do. Irelia can just Q immediately. Just like, bro. Alright, back we go. This stuff happens too fast for me to even like shoutcast as it happens. We hit the E, we Q2. We're watching the XP bar here. Irelia's probably 4/5 the way to level 6 here. Obviously, his plan was to hit level 6 while Sett's to level 4. There's just nothing you can do about it. She even one-shots. I'm actually pretty surprised that she one-shots this minion at the very back here. It's at about 3/4 HP with a recurve bow and Doran shield. W's to get a creep at the back low here. Alt. You'll see it even just stand here because the shield's just going to eat her autos anyway. Just really clean stuff. Really, really clean. Nothing missed, nothing wasted. Amazing stuff. 3-0, this Sett's out of the game. Like, once... So, typically, like, when you're against a Sett, if you can survive his kind of, like, entire combo, so as in Q, like, auto, QQ, W, E, alt, whatever. If you're, like, half HP, you just win. Like, no matter what champion you are, basically. I'm kind of, like, talking about auto attackers. Jax, Irelia, probably even Riven. Maybe Renekton. If you can kind of, like, withstand Sett's alt and W, you'll probably just end up winning. Irelia, very low mana, can probably just auto-attack this Sett to death. Maybe. Sett's still a pretty insane champion. Not really doing too much damage, though. She's kind of more looking to just stall the Sett here. Maybe have greeted a little bit. No, I think she should be okay. If she can... So, actually, I'm gonna bet... This is a bet, alright? Don't hold me up to this. I'm actually gonna bet that she gets a kill here. So, we have Doran's shield passive ticking. We have a cookie, and we have... Oh, no, I thought she had a pot. Let's just see what happens. Maybe she doesn't win. See the amount of like lifesteal she's getting. I feel like maybe she lives. Depends how long this minion. Okay. No, TF is coming. I feel like she'll still live. W. Yeah, okay. Maybe not. Never mind. A little bit greedy. I think the downfall of that play was eating the tower shot. Obviously not having any mana either forces her out. If she had have had a Vamp Scepter there over maybe like a Dagger Vamp Scepter, she definitely would have won. But lack of lifesteal, that's all good. Skip ahead. Kind of let Sett back in the game a little bit because a pretty big bounty went over to Sett. So Sett will be able to get probably half of his mythic component. But we have 4 coming top. So unless Sett bases right now. Twisted Fate missing his ultimate though. So we won't be able to get an ultimate off to see his location. Leona basing, pretty scary sort of situation. I haven't seen Xin Zhao in a while. I haven't really been tracking his pathing, but Samira is all the way bot lane by herself, and their bot lane's already kind of having a tricky situation from what I've seen. So if Xin Zhao was bot, their Samira would lose a lot. Definitely not really a worth throwing for Leona. It might have worked if she was maybe there a little bit faster, because Sett would have died, but evidently not. Surprised Xin Zhao. Xin Zhao might even be taking Dragon, seeing his Hecarim's just taking his entire top side. We're starting to do a slow push here. Irelia just maintaining her passive stacks, obviously. Pretty standard stuff. Recurve bow into Dagger. Recurve bow into Vampiric Scepter. Vampiric Scepter obviously working really well with Irelia's Q, or synergistically working really well with Irelia's Qs, being able to heal off basically everything. Xin Zhao pathing into the bottom side of the map. As we see, he's probably going to try and pressure a gank bot, or he's going to Dragon. Hecarim, not really foreseeing this, going to clear his Raptors instead. Sett taking the Bramble Vest. Pretty smart buy, I would say. Obviously cuts a lot of Irelia's power budget out with the lifesteal cutting and the armor. Hecarim also being a very healing relying champion as well. Bramble does that. Sett looking to freeze here. Irelia definitely not letting that happen as a 2-level deficit. Oh. I feel like if Sett had a flash ulted just then, he might have killed Irelia, because even if she flashes, she'd still be on a tower range, and I think Sett's ult is like a 95% slow or something like that. So, cool little thing happening here. You guys might be missing it. So when Irelia Qs, he actually gets an auto before doing basically anything. So he'll Q here, and then Q auto, and then Q back, and then Q auto, Q back. Nice little trade there. The enemy, like Irelia's Qs are so fast, and because she's building attack speed, she can actually Q faster than the tower shot can register, and Sett's auto attack can't even go through. That's a really cool little technique if you guys are looking to pick up Irelia. Small little things like that are going to be max value plays that get you optimal results. We have Twisted Fate picking up a kill on Rise on the bottom side of the map with the assistance of Hecarim. They picked up a couple kills there. Actually, it was 5-5 last time I checked the score. It's now 9-6. Irelia could honestly let the wave come back into her here, but it's kind of boring, and I feel like she has more to gain by pressuring Sett really hard. She has heavy lifesteal, whereas Sett has basically, or heavy sustain, whereas Sett has basically nothing. She could just keep doing what she's doing and whittle him down until he can't defend his tower anymore. Both TP should be coming up soon. As we see, she weaves that auto in. Irelia has a really long attack range, so you'll see here, that auto, like, she's probably one step back towards us now, but that auto is like basically this distance, and Sett can't even really retaliate. Maybe he just wasn't ready to auto, who knows, but I don't think his auto would have gone through either way. Irelia has really, really long auto attack range. If you're one of those players that can get really used to using Irelia's auto attack range, oh my god, what is happening here? Oh my god. Hold the front door, what just happened? Just heaps of queuing all over the place. Hits level 9 off these creeps here, I'm pretty sure. So I'm pretty sure she just W's to absorb the tower aggro, and then obviously once Sett's shield runs out, she just Qs onto him and then flashes out of tower range. Very, very lucky being saved by the Triumph there. Not like the cleanest, it looked really cool, but not the cleanest. Big fight happening bot, 3 bot here. Samira gets a kill as Xin Zhao picks up Leona. Hecarim should be able to turn these 2 levels up on the Xin Zhao. Still fighting though. As I said, Xin Zhao just dies. Despite having the Lulu's assistance, but Leona obviously giving a lot of lockdown there. We have a level 9 Irelia with, she actually went Inspiration. I didn't even realize the runes this game. We've got Conqueror on both sides. Irelia obviously running Inspiration, Cookies and Boots. Boots just obviously saves you money in the long run. It also gives more movement speed than Boots, like regular Boots one, if anyone didn't know, which also translates to giving more movement speed in Boots 2. So Blade of the Rune King, pretty staple on Irelia as we're weaving the Q, the E's over the Q's. Sett just getting the Blade of the Rune King passive, just mauled. If she was a tiny bit... Oh, no, I just think because Sett's itemized straight into Tabby. He's got no W, Sett just dies here. Literally nothing you can do. Pretty clean. This game kind of looks over, to be honest, but I've looked ahead in the VOD before, as I said, and I think the score wasn't that big of a difference, but this has been some pretty clean laning. I would say, like, the biggest mistake was probably not respecting the level 1. We knew Sett had started in the lane because of the brush, the ward that she placed earlier. Unless Sett pathed up through river. Obviously, the VOD started like a little bit later. we might be looking to cut Sett off from the wave here. Early in the game, so I'm going to just kind of like, this is something that I learned of Vigar V2. This early in the game, we have 11:25, plates fall at 14 minutes. Obviously, we have our last plate to go here. Keeping Sett this far up in the map is actually a lot better than letting him farm way further back at T2. Farming back at T2 gives, it's a more risky situation for Irelia, who's further ahead and has a shutdown. Whereas if we're able to hold Sett here to farm, then Sett has to always attend tier 1, which is for him greater overextension. So he's easier, he can be dove easier by Hecarim and Twisted Fate if he's on tier 1 as opposed to being on tier 2. So if you can hold your enemy under tier 1 the longer, the better it is, essentially. So that's what Irelking's looking to do here. Obviously just taking the waves as you can go, proxying. We're just cutting it off so that the wave will immediately crash into the tower and deny Sett even more farm. This is kind of like the optimal way to just sort of like choke your laner out. We have a almost 3-level advantage on the Sett already. Sett TB's back to the lane, burning one of his most important. Like Sett, no matter how far behind he is, can always kind of like, he's just the utility sort of style of his kit. Is just kind of like one of those kits that can still do damage and still do work in team fights no matter how kind of like behind you are. I mean, like if you just ult, like you could build fucking 6 tiers if you wanted to. If you get a really good ult and you get like a 5-man E, it's still going to do really good work. Oh, he fucked up a Q. Just running away. We've got Boots 1. Or the Magic Boots, sorry. With the Blade of the King. Sett should just die here though. Let's got his Q back up now. Passive. He could still like... I don't really see a world where Sett wins here. So she W's to maintain her passive. I actually also didn't know... This is kind of cool. I didn't know that Irelia's passive actually just kept ticking while the W maintained. I thought you actually had to hit someone with the W to make the passive maintain. That's really interesting. I didn't know that. So maintains Irelia's passive with the W there. Just cutting Sett off. Doesn't really give him anywhere to go. She still has to play this like relatively... Okay. Just commits to the kill. I was going to say, she still has to play this like relatively safe because if Sett just like leads it from ult into like a fully charged W, then she's just in a bit of trouble. I don't even know how that the Q failed earlier, by the way, but... Either way, another clean kill. I'll clean enough anyway. Takes tier 1. Their bot lane already lost their first tower though, so I wouldn't surprise me if their bot lane comes top now. Irelia has a lot to take though. Their Krug's just spawning and there's a fight, so Hecarim and Twisted Fate pushing on the rise. So yeah, Draven answering the wave, as I said before. Probably not really watching. She probably could have killed him if she had to hit the Q there. Yeah, okay. Draven's quite fed. Already on his Gale Force and double Dorans, I think, with boots. So kind of like at about the same gold as Irelia, maybe a little bit behind. Gale Force with Dirk, sorry, even worse because Irelia doesn't have any armor. No wonder that shredded her. 3 levels up wasn't enough, kind of was lacking a little bit of mana. Gave away 600 gold to the Draven. Draven is going to get a lot of catch-up XP on that as well. Let's skip ahead. Maybe the Draven carries a lot of fights. We're going Shield Bow here, really interesting. I play a little bit of Irelia, and I'm not really sure how I feel about Shield Bow. I mean, Irelia is kind of like one of those champions that sort of gets enabled no matter what. What mythic you go? I don't know what that text is either. I've seen it on other Korean VODs. If anyone can tell me, that'd be sick. She's one of those champions that gets enabled no matter what mythic she builds or what item she builds. I mean, I've seen a lot of Irelias even go straight from Blade into Death Dance, which seems actually really common, probably even not as common as Death Dance into Mythic, but still really, really common. Sett ulting the Leona back into a tower. Sett just dying for free, basically. If Twisted Fate gets a card off here, someone will die, surely. Oof, almost clean. This is a little bit ham. I like this fight, like, in reality, this fight doesn't really have to happen. If you know what I mean? Like, so I'm going to have to break this down because I want you guys to kind of like follow what I'm talking about here. In the interest of winning the game, like, every league player is for fun. We just want to get montage plays. We want to kill people and have fun. In the interest of like playing the game, no one really like wants to play optimally for winning as much as we want to win the game. That like plays like Irelking just made then aren't like optimal. We'll see if they're able to make a collapse on this Draven here. Misses the E. That Lulu Draven combo is brutal. Let's just skip back a minute, guys. I want to like kind of cover this. So what I mean by this fight doesn't have to happen is like we've already got a kill on Sett. Yes, Samira is dead, but because Irelia is such a prevalent presence on the map, she can literally just like go bot here and start taking towers for free. Draven can't push the wave mid here into a TF. Like everyone's healthy. Everyone would just kind of disperse, go like catch waves, go take camps, whatever. Irelia has the advantage of being able to go bot here and just take the tower. No one can answer her except for probably the Lulu and the Draven. She could just go get bot resources here, but instead we kind of like look to force this weird fight where her team's already half HP and she's looking to capitalize or collapse onto a fight. she's kind of only aiming on like hitting her E's here. And then kind of the ult even as well is pretty bad because she's obviously not going to be able to like ult into 4 people under a tower here. But either way, she could have just gone bot. Doesn't matter. I'm not Korean Challenger. Loses half HP, gets the exhaust out straight away. Hecarim falls pretty much straight away as well as Leona. So fights like that, like we gave across essentially like a 1k shutdown. If we kind of like just disperse and go bot or go top, go catch waves, go take resources, the map kind of stabilizes and stays the same, but we give away a 1k here. Obviously, when Irelia is on the Blade of the Ruin King Spike, she can Q to the caster creeps for the Blade of the Ruin King Spike plus Q5. She can Q to the backline basically immediately. Draven does a really good job at dodging the E there, as Irelia actually almost falls to the Draven. Draven hitting really, really hard with that double, that lethality second item. We're going to go answer some waves here. Irelia obviously rocking the Blade of the Ruin King will be able to sustain easily off this one wave. We'll see. I actually don't mind this play because most people would anticipate Irelia to base straight off that middle skirmish. But we got to push the wave in straight away first to draw someone top or make them lose farm. Either way. We have Xin Zhao and Sett covering mid. Xin Zhao, Sett sort of starting to fall behind because he's obviously, well, not starting, he's already behind. But having to share farm mid is not very good for a top laner, especially when for a top laner to function, you need to be levels ahead because levels obviously give artificial stats as opposed to items giving real stats. They try to make a dive happen bot here, and hang on a second, maybe she flashes. They try to make a dive happen bot here. Ryze is actually able to outplay. I was just going to say what's happening in the bottom of the map here. So as I said before, even though they screw the dive up, in any kind of like universe, this dive probably should work if Hecarim leads properly. But so with the tier 1-2 example I spoke about before, we have Ryze on the tier 1. As we see, Hecarim has heaps of access to that tower, and as fed as he is, this dive really should have worked. Obviously, we don't get to see it, but TF actually tanks for some reason, so that's why he dies. TF having to flash, and then Hecarim just having to leave. Oh no, he gets the kill, sorry. We see Irelia, obviously, we don't have any vision topside, so he just gets killed by a collector now, Draven, and the Lulu. So I'm starting to see how this game kind of like unravels, but I'm pretty sure he still ends up collapsing, bringing it back. Hecarim, obviously, a brutal front line with the chem tank thing, and Deadman's Plate, extremely tanky on the armor. As we have Ryze pretty far behind, so their main source of AP damage is probably not going to really do too much. If I'm not focused, maybe we lose. We see Sett getting stunned or picked on the mid. He ults out. Actually, a really good ult. TF might... Okay, really good W by the Samira there, blocking off the Draven's ult. So we have pings on the mid lane because obviously... Okay, we're just ARMing for fun reasons. I mean, it's solo queue. Maybe I'm kind of like looking too much into it. Irelia has complete access to the Draven though, so this should be a 1-5. That Q on the Xin Zhao was so nice there. We have Q coming from 7 as we had a triple kill. Very nice. Very well played. So Irelia kind of like excels in fights where she doesn't have to lead because she can obviously just pick up kills. People have already used their peel techniques or their peel ability, to defend. So Irelia just gets to Q onto the Draven for free there. We had Sett kind of in like a weird spot, and I think Lulu had already ulted him or something like that. So Sett more or less losing in the team fight there. Hecarim goes bot to pick up the dragon. TF pushing out the bot wave. We take top resources as the red buff spawns. Maybe we look to take it off the map. Lulu picking up the mid wave. We have Draven coming out of base right now. Sett and Ryze both respawning as well as the Xin Zhao. Our next objective, if you're looking to actually win the game, would probably be getting Hecarim to come top straight away and take the Herald, or we Herald off reset. So obviously we have the jungler and the ADC coming top right now to take this red buff. So Irelia should just leave. I don't even really know how these things work, by the way. I probably should go on a practice tool in my own. Like, is in aggro and all that kind of thing. Like, do you have to get CC'd to get taken out of the tunnel, or do you just you get to take a free ride? Either way, more resources top. Irelia has double lifesteal. She can do what she wants. We're going into shield bow here. I don't even know what would be the best. I mean, they have a really reliable frontline and CC in TF and Sett, so maybe she doesn't have to go such a tanky frontline as like a Sunder or Gore Drinker. Sett's just dead. Nothing you can do, even with ult. Clean. Sett overextending. Obviously, we have a global ult and Irelia. Like, when you're on the wave, you have to really be aware of the fact that Irelia's, if she's not showing on the map, because Irelia has really good access to you if you're standing on top of the wave. We have Hecarim come top for Herald. Trying to break over the rest of the map. I haven't seen anyone else on the map. We have a really nice defensive pink ward in the top side of their jungle. We have Ryze pushing bot lane though, so Irelia should base off this, because she has shield bow. Okay. We have no one entering top wave, so we're just going to sack the bottom wave there. Maybe she'll take the tower. Maybe she's going to get ganked. I feel like Lulu wouldn't walk this way unless she was going to get ganked. Maybe Nim has a flash. Them using 18 summoners. One more auto, nice. Probably worth. Flash into cleanse, exhaust, Lulu ult as well. So the team gets the rest of the things, seeing as so many resources have been allocated to that one little skirmish protecting the Draven. We're going straight from shield bow into the Death Dance. Buys 3 components of the Death Dance while getting the full shield bow as well. Very, very nice. This Irelia is absolutely monstrous. Skip ahead. Deployed back on the map. We have a mini little fight happening in the mid. Hecarim looking for a kill. Gives over a 150 shutdown to the Draven. This Draven is definitely in like a carry situation, but Sett kind of needs to be tankier to allow him to be able to allow him to function. We have him looking to make another pick mid here. Looking pretty sketchy, pretty dangerous. Probably don't fight without the Hecarim. We have Xin Zhao trying to overforce. Irelia just getting like literally popped. This Draven is absolutely huge. Samira things? Yeah, so nice. Oh, wow. Oh, that Q is so fast. Yeah, so Samira coming in pretty clutch there, getting a really, really nice ult in the middle of like 3 of them. Oh, that Q was so nice. Like immediate. No second guess, nothing. Perfect. Very well played by everybody there. Pushing up. I think they might even look for a push here to end or get like game-winning resources, either way. We leave the base, go to catch top waves. I'm just gonna skip ahead. We got Death Dance straight into a stopwatch. Obviously, when you're kind of like in the situation where like one more fight could either break out and end, like you win or lose the game, we have a stopwatch purchase. Stopwatch, even if you're not intending to build it into anything in a situation where the game could end, is obviously really, really key. That one like Zhonya's or stasis, sorry, should I say, that one stasis could end up winning the team fight. So that 650 gold is definitely worth, as we see Rise flash away from the ult. Hecarim going to E on him anyway. Maybe gets rune prisoned. Rises really fast from the Lulu and phase rush. But he's dead now because Irelia has red buff and Blade of the Rune King, as we see him get auto attack to death. We push in the top wave. Probably could have stayed mid, but Draven spawning in 7 seconds. Maybe they just FF. Irelking definitely leading the way for this win. We did grief a couple of deaths, but like the guy's mechanical prowess is just too insane. Xin Zhao for some reason thinking he can just not standing his base. I love how long he holds the second E. So like people start walking side to side, so they obviously like Irelia can just walk at them as opposed to them dodging the E. Really, really nice. Draven's probably just in the base. That game's over, guys. If you like this review, honestly, wait. I looked at my phone because I have a list of these to do. I didn't know who to do. I was like, man. And at the very bottom was Irelking. I was like, this is my guy. I haven't seen this in a while. Yeah, as you see, Irelking leading the way to a top lane, to a win through the top lane. Obviously, just outclassing the Sett. Sett played really good early laning, but then it just fell into shambles later on in the game. If you guys like these sort of reviews, please leave a comment below if you want me to cover anything else. My next like educational tutorial video, I guess you would call, as opposed to the last two, will be a trading masterclass. We're going to be going on how to optimally trade in the top lane. If you want to see that, make sure you subscribe. Love you guys all so much. Again, thanks so much for the subs. Like the support in the last couple of days is crazy. We're almost at 1,000 subscribers. I was at 453 4 days ago, 5 days ago, 4 days ago, 5 days ago, something like that. Earlier in this week. Insane support and growth lately. Thank you so much for watching, guys. I'll catch you in the next one. Lots of love. Wait, let me know if I should keep the mo or not. What do you think? All right, see you guys. Bye.